This is the Sunday Motivational Video. Every Sunday, we bring you a different type of video, which should improve your life. Today, we're looking at 15 famous failures before success. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hello, Aluxers. It's always great to see how many of you come back for the Sunday Motivational Video. Failure is something we've learned to use and overcome here on this channel. So what better way to prove this point apart from looking at some of the most famous failures in history and how they resulted in massive successes in the long run? Now, this video is slightly different than the ones we did the last few weeks, but it will serve as inspiration to those of you who faced rejection or were told you're not good enough to make it. So sit back, because we're going to take you on a ride which will prove to you that most people have no idea what they're talking about. Maintain focus, dedication, and keep pushing forward. You have a lot of people to prove wrong. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Alux. Here are 15 famous failures before success. Number 1. She was fired from her news anchor job because she wasn't fit for television. Oprah Winfrey, multi-billionaire media mogul and one of the most influential women in the world. Oprah had a really harsh upbringing, but her dedication to becoming great kept her moving forward. When asked about how she managed to transform her life, she said, "The big secret in life is that there is no big secret. Whatever your goal, you can get there if you're willing to work." Number 2. He was cut off of his high school basketball team because he simply didn't have it. Michael Jordan, basketball's greatest of all time. Here's what he said about failure. "I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. On 26 occasions, I've been entrusted to take the game-winning shot and I missed. I have failed over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." Number 3. While homeless, he had to sell his dog to buy food while busting his butt trying to sell his first movie script. Sylvester Stallone, one of the most successful actors in USA history. His speech from the movie Rocky was one of the first motivational speeches most people encountered in their lives, and to this day is still a cornerstone to how to keep moving forward. If you don't know what we're talking about, here's the quote. "Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are. It'll beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done." Number 4. He was fired from his newspaper job for lacking imagination and having no original ideas. Walt Disney, cultural icon, innovator, and founder of what is today a $200 billion company. Walt Disney is one of the most interesting human beings to ever live. His movies and amusement parks are responsible for more happiness than any other enterprise in the world, and his work is standing the test of time. To this day, he still holds the record for most Oscars won by a single individual, with 26 awards. Nobody has even come close to him. If you want to learn some more about how he approached life, you can watch our 15 Things You Didn't Know About Walt Disney video by clicking in the top right corner. Number 5. Being born into poverty, a high school dropout, and a drug addiction culminated in a failed suicide attempt. Eminem changed hip-hop and is still considered by many the greatest rapper alive. Eminem is the best-selling artist of the 2000s in the United States. They made a movie about his life, in which he starred and won an Oscar for Best Original Song. When talking about success and failure, he said, "'Cause sometimes you gotta feel tired, feel weak, and when you feel weak, you feel like you wanna just give up. But you gotta search within you. You gotta find that inner strength and just pull that shit out of you and get that motivation not to give up and be a quitter. Everybody has goals, aspirations, or whatever, and everybody has been at the point in their life where nobody believed in them. But when I say I'm going to do something, I have to do it. Number 6. Divorced, bankrupt, and on welfare, her first manuscript was rejected by over a dozen publishers until one finally agreed to give it a shot. J.K. Rowling. The Harry Potter series sold over 400 million copies in total, and she lost her billionaire status only because she donates so much money to charity. Harry Potter changed our childhoods, and just thinking about how many people this series has touched is mind-boggling. When discussing failures, Rowling said, "It is impossible to live without failing at something, unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case you have failed by default." Did you know there's an audio version of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them available? The audiobook costs $15, but if you go to Alux.com/freebook and sign up, you can get it for free. Or if you'd rather, there is a really expensive, exclusive panel about the crimes of Grindelwald, which you can pick up instead, provided to all you Aluxers by our friends at Audible. Number 7. Failed primary school, was rejected by Harvard 10 times, was the only person out of 24 to be rejected for a job at KFC, and failed to secure funding for his idea in Silicon Valley. Jack Ma, founder of the second largest store on the planet. Jack Ma's success story is one of the most fascinating we've ever shared on our channel. Against all odds, and almost everybody not taking him seriously in the beginning, he managed to stay focused and pursue the goal he had envisioned for himself. If you don't give up, you'll still have a chance. Giving up is the greatest failure. If you're not familiar with Jack Ma, click in the top right corner to watch the profile we did on him. You'll thank us later. Number 8. She was dropped by Def Jam Records after only 3 months because her music demo was quote-unquote disgusting. Lady Gaga, pop icon who sold over 150 million singles worldwide. Letting Gaga go is L.A. Reid's biggest career mistake, and he mentioned it numerous times. When talking about following your goals, Lady Gaga said, "Some women choose to follow men, and some women choose to follow their dreams. If you're wondering which way to go, remember that your career will never wake up and tell you it doesn't love you anymore." Number 9. He was rejected from film school 3 times. Steven Spielberg, the most successful film director of all time and multi-billionaire. Imagine being the person that has to reject what will be the greatest filmmaker of all time from film school. His movies have grossed over $10 billion in total. He has a particular approach to success. Sometimes a dream almost whispers. It never shouts. Very hard to hear, so you have to, every day of your lives, be ready to hear what whispers into your ear. Number 10. Everybody told him he wouldn't make it in show business because he couldn't act, because of his accent, his body, and his name. Arnold Schwarzenegger, one of the most well-known actors all around the world, and also the former governor of the state of California. This man faced more rejection early on in his career than most mainstream actors put together, but his mindset kept him strong. Strength does not come from winning. Your struggles develop your strengths. When you go through hardships and decide not to surrender, that is strength. Number 11. They were rejected because labels didn't like their sound and that guitar groups are on their way out. The Beatles, the most commercially successful and critically acclaimed band in history. To this day, the Beatles remain unmatched in their success, and their approach to it is very similar to how they think about love. We've got this gift of love, but love is like a precious plant. You can't just accept it and leave it in the cupboard, or just think it's going to get on by itself. You've got to keep on watering it. You've got to really look after it and nurture it. Number 12. He got fired after his first singing job and was told, "You ain't going nowhere, son. You ought to go back to driving a truck." Elvis Presley, the most significant musical icon of the 20th century. Imagine if Elvis Presley took it to heart and thought, maybe this ain't for me. Instead, this is his approach to the issue. I'm trying to keep a level head. You have to be careful out in the world. It's so easy to get turned, and it's not how much you have that makes people look up to you, it's who you are. Number 13. At the age of 11, he was diagnosed with a growth deficiency hormone, which made him smaller than other kids, and was not signed professionally because his medical bills were over $900 a month. Leonel Messy, the first player in history to win 5 Ballon d'Ors, and considered by many to be the greatest football player that ever lived. His life was changed at 13 when FC Barcelona took him under their wing and offered to support the cost of his treatment due to the potential they saw in young Messi. Ever since, he's put every drop of effort into becoming the best version of himself. I start early and I stay late, day after day, year after year. It took me 17 years and 114 days to become an overnight success. Number 14. All his teachers believed he was slow and wouldn't amount to much. Albert Einstein, Nobel Prize winner and probably the most important icon in physics history. People like Albert don't happen often, so we're incredibly lucky that he got to follow his passion in order to meet his potential. A quote that we really love from him goes like this: "Be a loner. That gives you time to wonder, to search for the truth. Have holy curiosity. Make your life worth living." Number 15. He was fired from the company he started because he was too young, too temperamental, and didn't have the right vision for the company. Steve Jobs, founder of the first trillion-dollar company in history. Apart from his stay hungry, stay foolish approach to life, Jobs has been a model and icon for the modern-day tech entrepreneur. He changed the way we look at products and achieved his goal of changing the universe. A less-known quote from him that makes all the difference is, "People judge you on your performance, so focus on the outcome. Be a yardstick of quality. Some people aren't used to an environment where excellence is expected." If you want to follow in his footsteps, we strongly recommend you read or listen to Walter Isaacson's biography on Steve Jobs. The audiobook version is fairly expensive at $35, but if you go to Alux.com/freebook and sign up, you can get it for free, courtesy of our partnership with Audible. You're welcome, Aluxers. Now, as always, you know we're curious. Should we do a part 2 of this video? Was it inspiring to hear about their rejections? As a reward for watching until the end, of course, you know you get a special message from us. Here's your bonus. What would have happened if they listened to the people who were telling them they were going to fail? What would the world be like today? We want you to keep that in mind as you move through life. Sometimes you just have to trust your instinct and give it your all. We didn't mention this on the list, but there are millions of people who went through similar circumstances but gave up. It's time to choose a side, Aluxers. If you want to live a memorable life, please write memorable in the comments section, and as always, we'll do our best to reply to some of the most interesting comments. Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxers. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpicked these videos, which we recommend you watch next. Thank you for being an Aluxer, and we'll see you back tomorrow.